welcome to the finals competition for the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Contest. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Affairs, Christine Goodman, and my office has been working very hard to bring this competition for 30 years to City Hall, of course with the mayor and the municipal council. And we're so proud to have you here. I see we have our councilwoman here. Hi. Mayor Prince-Array, Councilwoman Ward B. And you know, I'm sure you will also support the fact that we do look forward to this event every single year. And everyone who comes and participates, whether it's our volunteer MCs, our judges, the staff that stay late every night, you know, we leave feeling so inspired by you and all the work our young people in Jersey City put into participating in this oratory contest. So thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing the words of Dr. King and really providing a moment for us all to reflect on his words. And this is such an important time to remember these words as well and to move forward in the world as citizens together in Jersey City, creating the better world that we want to see and the best city for us all to live in together. So why don't you give yourselves a round of applause for all of your hard work. I'm going to call up our Assistant Director of Cultural Affairs, Migdalia Pagan-Milano.
Thank you, Director. We're just so happy for all of you to be here, and we are all on the edge today. I want to take the time just to introduce our special judges for today. We have our Jersey City Police Department West Side Community Liaison Officer, Ileana Anton. It's the first time that JCPD is participating in this event with us this year, so we're just so happy about that. We also have our Department of Recreation. Vernon, of course. Vernon Richardson from the Department of Recreation. This is his first time judging, so he's excited. And we also have our wonderful Dr. Sandra Huff, who is the founder and creator of the Conservatory of Fine Arts. She's had her children perform here for a holiday concert this past year, so look for that in the future. I'd also like to take the time to introduce our wonderful team of MCs. This is the second year that McNair High School, with Holly Smith, thank you very much, Holly, has volunteered these students. It's a really great way to give them a chance to practice their public speaking and presenting in public and, you know, all of it. So we're just so happy that they're here with us. We have Rayana Ba, we have Gwyneth Friedman, and Naga Kassam. And with that, take it away, McNair students.
Our first contestant is Nasa Khandelwal.
Hello everyone, my name is Nisa Khandelwal, and I'm a 3rd grade student. My dear and abiding friends, Ralph Abernathy, and to all the distinguished Americans seated here on the rostrum, my friends and co-workers of the state of Alabama, and to all the freedom-loving people who have assembled here this afternoon from all over our nation and from all over the world. Last Sunday, more than 8,000 of us started on a mighty walk from Selma, Alabama. We have walked through the desolate valleys and across the trying hills. We have walked on the meandering highways and rested our bodies on rocky byways. Some of our faces are burnt from the outpourings of the sweltering sun. Some have literally slept in the mud. We have been drenched by the rains. But today, as I stand before you and think back over that great march, I can say, as Sister Pollard said, a 70-year-old Negro woman who Aren't you tired? And with her ungrammatical profundity, she said, my feet is tired, but my soul is rested. And in a real sense this afternoon, we can say that our feet are tired, but our souls are rested. They told us we wouldn't get here. And there were those who said we would get here only over their dead bodies. But all the world today knows that we are here. And if we are standing before the forces of the power in the state of Alabama say, we ain't going to let nobody turn us around. Today, I want to tell to the city of Selma. Today, I want to say to the state of Alabama. Today, I want to say to the people of America and the nations of the world that we are not about to turn around. We are on the move now. Let us therefore continue our triumphant march to the realization of the American dream. Let us march on segregated housing until Negroes and whites live side by side in decent, safe, and sanitary housing. Let us march on segregated schools until Negroes and whites study side by side in the socially healing contact of the classroom. The battle is in our hands. The road ahead is not altogether a smooth one. There are no broad highways that lead us easily and inevitably to quick solutions. But we must keep going. Our aim must never be to defeat or humiliate the white man, but to win his friendship and understanding. We must concede that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience. And that'll be a day, not of the white man, not of the black man, that'll be the day of man as man. I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men, darken their understanding, and drive bright-eyed wisdom from her sacred throne? Somebody's asking, when will the radiant star of hope be plunged against the nocturnal bosom of this lonely night, plucked from very souls with the chains of fear and the manacles of death? How long will justice be crucified and truth bear it? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth-crushed earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no line can live forever. How long? Not long, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. How long? Not long, because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible, swift sword. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth a trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet, our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Thank you.
Our next contestant will be Stella Benito.
Hi, my name is Stella. I am 9 years old and PS our nation, the problems that we confront in the world, the problem that we as a people confront in all of our communities all over the United States of America. It was Victor Hugo who said on one occasion that there is nothing more powerful in all the world than an idea whose time has come. And I want to assure you today that the idea whose time has come in our day, in our generation, is the idea of freedom and human dignity. Wherever people are assembled today, whether they are Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, whether they are in Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, New York City, or Cleveland, Ohio, the cry is always the same. We want to be free. And I would like to suggest some of the things that you must do. Some of the things that all of us must do in order to be truly free. Now, the first thing that we must do is to develop within ourselves a deep sense of somebodyness. Don't let anybody make you feel that you are nobody. Because the minute one feels that way, he is incapable of rising to his full maturity as a person. You know, a lot of people have segregated minds, and one of the first things that the Negro must do is to desegregate his mind. I remember when I was growing up in Atlanta, Georgia. I had to go to high school on the other side of town. At the time, it was the only high school for Negroes in the whole city of Atlanta. The Booker T. Washington High School. When I was a student there, we had 7,000 students in that one school. I guess that's the reason I can't read too well now, because the teacher had to spend all the time getting the class in order and disciplining the class because it was so overcrowded. But anyway, I had to pass by all of these schools, white schools, to get to the Booker Washington High School. And I had to ride the bus from home every morning to get to the other side of town. And fortunately, I had parents who taught me from the very beginning that I was somebody and that I should never feel inferior. They taught all of us that we should feel that we are as good as any other children. And I remember, day after day, getting on that bus. It was a segregated bus. Negroes had to sit in the back. And often, we had to stand over empty seats because the seats up at the front were reserved for whites only. And I started getting on that bus, going across town. And every time I got on the bus, even though I found myself having to take my body back to the back of the bus, I always left my mind on the front seat. And I said to myself, one of these days, I'm gonna put my body up there, where my mind is. Now, this is all I'm saying this morning, that we must feel that we count, that we belong, that we are persons, that we are children of the living God. And it means that we must go down in our soul and find that somebodyness. And we must never again be ashamed of ourselves. We must not be ashamed of the color of our skin. Black is as beautiful as any color, and we must believe it. And so, every black person in this country must rise up and say, I'm somebody. I have a rich, proud, and noble history, however painful and exploited it has been. I am black, but I am black and beautiful.
Thank you so much, Stella. That was really powerful. Next up, we have Ethan Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Ethan Rodriguez. I'm a 5th grader at Hamilton Park Montessori School, and today I'll be performing the speech, Our God is Marching On. My dear and abiding friends, last Sunday, more than 8,000 of us started on a mighty walk from Selma, Alabama. We have walked through desolate valleys and crossed the trying hills. We have been drenched by the rains. Our bodies are tired, and our feet are somewhat sore. But today, as I stand before you and think back over that great march, I can say, as Sister Pillard said, a 70-year-old Negro woman was asked while walking if she didn't want to ride. When she answered, no. The person said, well, aren't you tired? And she said, my feet is tired, but my soul is rested. And in a real sense this afternoon, we can say that our feet are tired, but our souls are rested. They told us we wouldn't get here. And there were those who said we would get here, only over their dead bodies. But all the world today knows that we are here, and we are standing before the forces of power in the state of Alabama saying, we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. Today, I want to tell to the city of Selma. Today, I'd like to say to the state of Alabama. Today, I'd like to say to the people of America and the nations of the world that we are not about to turn around. We are on the move now. Yes, we are on the move, and the burning of our churches will not deter us. The bombing of our homes will not dissuade us. We are on the move now. We are moving towards the land of freedom. Let us march on segregated schools until every vestige of segregated and inferior education becomes a thing of the past, and Negroes and whites study side by side in the socially healing context of the classroom. Let us march on poverty until no American parent has to skip a meal so that their children may eat. Let us march on ballot boxes until we send to our city councils, state legislators, and the United States Congress men who will not fear to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God. Let us march on ballot boxes until brotherhood becomes more than a meaningless word in an opening prayer, but the order of the day on every legislative agenda. Let us march on ballot boxes until all over Alabama, God's children will be able to walk the earth in decency and honor. My people, listen. The battle is in our hands. The battle is in our hands in Mississippi, in Alabama, and all over the United States. I know there's a cry today in Alabama. When will Martin Luther King and others get out of our community and let Alabama return to normalcy? But I have a message that I would like to leave with Alabama this evening. That is exactly what we don't want, and we will not allow it to happen. It is normalcy all over our country, which leaves the Negro perishing on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. No, we will not allow Alabama to return to normalcy. The only normalcy that we will settle for is the normalcy that recognizes the dignity and worth of all of God's children. The only normalcy that we will settle for is the normalcy that allows judgment to run down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. The only normalcy that we will settle for is the normalcy of brotherhood, the normalcy of true peace, the normalcy of justice. I know you are asking today, how long will it take? But I've come to say to you this afternoon, no matter how difficult the moment, no matter how frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed to the earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. How long? Not long, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long, because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, and his truth is marching on. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer to him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Thank you.
Wow, incredible job, Ethan. Next up, we have Madhushri Ganesh.
Hello everyone, my name is Madhushri Ganesh and I am a proud student of PS number 11. Today I will be reciting I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King Jr. I am so excited for this opportunity. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our modern cities, knowing that this situation can and will be fixed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, that even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream that's deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of this creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that even the state of Mississippi, the state sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they'll not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with this vicious racist, with his mayor having his lips dripped by the words of interposition and nullification, that one day right down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, all the rough places shall be made plains, the crooked places shall be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed when all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith I'll go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of that mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, pray together, struggle together, go to jail together, climb up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children shall sing with new meaning. My country, this of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the stone mountain of Georgia. When we let this happen, when we let freedom ring, we let it ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi and every mountainside. When we let this happen, we let it ring from every state and every city, every teamman and every helmet, and all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.
That was incredible. Next up, we have Samira Malhotra.
rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day, on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will one day live in a nation by which they are not judged by the color of their skin, but judged by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day, right down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every mountain and every hill shall be put low. Rough spaces shall be made plain. Crooked spaces shall be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith I shall go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out a mountain of despair, a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And this is the day where all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. The land where my fathers died, the land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from the Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when we allow this to happen, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last." Thank you.
Wonderful job, Samira. Thank you so much. Now we have Jazara Martina Pakura.
Hello, my name is Jazara Martina Pakurar. I am in grade 5 and I will be representing Waldo International School. I'm delighted to see each of you here tonight, in spite of the storm warning. You reveal that you are determined to go on anyhow. Something is happening in Memphis. Something is happening in our world. As you know, if I were standing at the beginning of time with the possibility of taking a kind of general and panoramic view at the whole of mankind, and the Almighty said to me, "Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in?" I take my mental flight through Egypt, through and across the Red Sea, on towards the Promised Land. But despite its magnificence, I wouldn't stop there. I'd move on by Greece and take my mind to Mount Olympus and watch Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides, and Aristophanes assembled around the Parathon as they discuss the eternal issues of reality. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd come up to the great heyday of the Roman Empire and see all the developments around there through various emperors and leaders, but I wouldn't stop there. I'd come up to the day of the Renaissance and take a quick picture for all that the Renaissance did for the cultural and aesthetic life of man. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd come up to 1863 and watch a vacillating president by the name of Abraham Lincoln finally come to the conclusion that he had to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd come up to the early 30s and watch a man grappling with the problems of bankruptcy in his nation, coming to an eloquent cry that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But I wouldn't stop there. Strangely enough, I would turn to the Almighty and say, "If you let me live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy." Now that is a strange statement to make because the world is all messed up. The nation is sick, trouble is in the land, confusion all around. That's a strange statement, but I know somehow that only when it is dark enough you can see the stars. And I see God working in this period of the 20th century that men, in some strange way, are responding. The masses of people are rising up, and wherever they are, today, whether they are in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Ghana, New York City, Atlanta, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry will always be the same. We want to be free. Now that is where we are today. And also, in the human rights revolution, if something isn't done, and in a hurry, to bring the colored peoples out of this world, out of their long years of poverty, their long years of hurt and neglect, the world is doomed. Now, I'm just happy that God allowed me to live in this period of time, to see what's unfolding. And I'm happy that He allowed me to be in Memphis. I can remember the Negro was just going around, just like Ralph said, scratching where they didn't itch, and laughing where they were not tickled. But that day is over. We mean business now, and we are determined to find our place in God's heart. We aren't engaged in any negative protests or in any negative arguments with anybody. We are just saying that we are determined to be men, we are determined to be people, and we are saying that we are God's children, and that we don't have to live like we are forced to live. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Jazara Martina. Now switching over to our grades 6 through 8 semifinalists, we welcome Victor Amokra Jr. to the stage.
Hello, my name is Victor Amuka Jr. I'm in the 6th grade. I attend Kindle Education Public Charter School. This morning, I would like to use as the subject from which to preach the drum major instinct. A desire to be out front, a desire to lead the parade, a desire to be first. And it is something that runs the whole gamut of life. We all want to be important, to surpass others, to achieve distinction, to lead the parade. Alfred Adler, the great psychoanalysis, contends that this is the dominant impulse. This quest for recognition, this desire for attention, this desire for distinction is the basic impulse, the basic drive of human life, this drum major instinct. And you know, we began earlier asking life to put us first. Our first cry as a baby was a bid for attention. Now in adult life, we still have it. We like to do something good, and we like to be praised for it. Somehow that warm glow we feel when we are praised or when our name is in print, it's something of the vitamin A to our ego, a need that some people have to feel superior. And now to submit to you this morning that what is wrong in the world today is that the nations of the world are engaged in such a bitter, colossal contest for supremacy. I must be first. I must be supreme. Our nation must rule the world. And this perverted use of the drum major instinct has led to the most tragic prejudice, the most tragic expression of man's inhumanity to man. And if some don't happen to stop this trend, I'm sorely afraid that we won't be here to talk about Jesus Christ, about God, and about brotherhood too many years more. We have perverted the drum major instinct, but Jesus said in substance, don't give up this instinct. It's a good instinct if you use it right. It's a good instinct if you don't distort it and pervert it. Don't give it up. Keep feeling the need for being important and for being first. But I want you to be first in love. I want you to be first in moral excellence. I want you to be first in generosity. That is what I want you to do. And he transformed the situation by giving a new definition of greatness. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. It means everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love, and you can be that servant. And if any of you are around when I have to meet my day, I don't want a long funeral. And if you get somebody to deliver the eulogy, tell them not to talk too long. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love somebody. I want you to say that day that I did try to feed the hungry. I want you to say that I tried to love and serve humanity. Yes. If you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. Say that I was a drum major for peace. I was a drum major for righteousness. And all the other shallows would not matter. Then my living would not be in vain. Thank you.
Great job, Victor. Next up, we have Leisha Guzman.
Good afternoon. My name is Leisha Guzman. I'm in the 7th grade, and today I will be representing the school Alfred E. Zampella, PS 27. I want to ask you a question, and that is, what's your life's blueprint? Whenever a building is being constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as a pattern, as a guide. And a building is not well erected without a good, solid blueprint. Now each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. I want to suggest some of the things that should begin your life's blueprint. Number 1, in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you're nobody. Always feel that you count, always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have as the basic principle the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days, as the years unfold, what you'll be in your life, what your life's work will be. Set out to do it well. And I say to you, my young friends, doors are opening to you. Doors of opportunities that were not open to your mothers and your fathers. And the great challenge facing you is to be ready to face these doors as they open. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great essayist, said in a lecture in 1871, if a man could write a better book, or preach a better sermon, or make a better mousetrap than his neighbor, even if he built his house in the woods, the world will make a beating path to his door. Now, this hasn't always been true, but it will become increasingly true. So I urge you to study hard, to burn the midnight oil. I would say to you, don't drop out of school. I understand all the sociological reasons, but I urge you, in spite of your economic plight, in spite of the situation that you're forced to live in, stay in school. And when you discover what you will be in your life, set out to do it as if God Almighty called you at this particular moment in history to do it. Don't just set out to do a good job. Set out to do such a good job that the living, the dead, or the unborn couldn't do it better. If it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Leontine Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine at the top of the hill, be a shrub in the valley. Be the best little shrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be the star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Thank you.
Great job there, Alicia. Now we have Pavit Tucker.
Good afternoon, my respected judges, parents, and dear friends. My name is Pavit Tucker. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 7th grade at the Learning Community Charter School. Today, I will be sharing I Have a Dream by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, the great American, in whose symbolic shadow we stand in today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who were seared in the flames of withering injustice. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still badly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. Now is the time to make real the promise of democracy. We are not satisfied and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I say to you today, my friends, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of a mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And this will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. And if America is to become a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. But not only that. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill in Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring, from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, great God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavet. Next we have Gabriela Calles.
I want to use as a subject from which to preach the 3 dimensions of a complete life. You know, they used to tell us in Hollywood that in order for a movie to be complete, it had to be 3-dimensional. Well, this morning, I want to seek to get over to each of us that for life itself to be complete, it must be 3-dimensional. There are 3 dimensions of any complete life to which we can fitly give the words of this text: length, breadth, and height. Now, the length of life, as we actually use it here, is an inward concern for one's own welfare. In other words, it's that inward concern that causes one to push forward to achieve his own goals and ambitions. The breadth of life, as we should use it here, is the outward concern for the welfare of others. And the height of life is the upward reach for God. Now, you've got to have all 3 of these to have a complete life. Now let's turn for a moment to the length of life. I said that this is a dimension of life where we are most concerned with developing our own inner powers. In a way, this is the selfish dimension of life. There is such a thing as rational and healthy self-interest. A great Jewish rabbi, the late Joshua Liebman, wrote a book some years ago entitled Peace of Mind, and he has a chapter in that book entitled Love Thyself. And what he says in that chapter, in substance, is that before you can love other selves adequately, you must love your own self properly. You know, many people don't love themselves, and they go through life with this deep and haunting emotional conflict. So the length of life means you've got to love yourself. I remember in college, I majored in sociology, and all sociology majors had to take a required course called statistics. And statistics can be very complicated. You've got to have a real mathematical mind, a knowledge of geometry, and you've got to know how to calculate the mean, the mode, and the median. I will never forget, I had a fellow classmate of mine who could just work this stuff out, you know? And he would do his homework in about an hour. And we'd go to the lab or the workshop, and he would do his in about an hour. And it would be over for him. And I tried to do what he was doing. I tried to do mine in an hour. The more I tried to do mine in an hour, the more I was flunking out of the course. So I had to come to a very hard conclusion. I had to sit down and say, now Martin Luther King, Leaf Kane has a better mind than you. Sometimes you have to accept that. I had to say, it may take him an hour, but it takes me 2 or 3. I was not willing to accept myself. I was not willing to accept my tools and my limitations. You know, we're all put here to do this. A Ford car trying to be a Cadillac is absurd. But if a Ford can accept itself as a Ford, it can do many things a Cadillac could never do. Like fit into parking spaces a Cadillac could never fit into. And in life, some of us are Fords, and some of us are Cadillacs. Now, the other thing about the length of life, after accepting ourselves and our tools, is discovering what we are called upon to do. And once we discover what we are called upon to do, we must set out to do it with all the strength and all the power we have in our systems. Once we discover what God called us upon to do, we must set out to do it so well that the living, the dead, or the unborn could not do it better. And this does not mean that all of us will do the so-called big and recognized thing in life. Very few of us will rise to the heights of genius in the arts and sciences. Very few of us collectively will rise to certain professions. Most of us will have to be content to work in the fields, or the factories, or on the streets. But we must find dignity in all labor. When I was in Montgomery, Alabama, I went to a shoe shop quite often, known as the Gordon Shoe Shop. And there was this fellow in there who used to shine my shoes. And it was just an experience to witness this fellow shining my shoes. He would take a rag and just make music out of it. And I thought to myself, this man has a PhD in shoe shining. Even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, go out and sweep those streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep those streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep those streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep those streets so well that the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on that side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size to which we win or fail. By the way, I'm a 7th grader from Hamilton Park Montessori School. Sorry for not saying this earlier.
Well done, Gabriella. Our next contestant is Nirvi Shah.
My name is Nirvi Shah. Greetings. We have all gone through this question. How will my life unfold? Respected judges and friends. What is your life's blueprint? By our leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who delivered this speech to the students of Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia on October 26, 1967. I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives. For what you do now and decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws the blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the model, and as the guide for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, a solid, and a sound blueprint. Now, each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one, in your life's blueprint must be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Now that means that you should not be ashamed of your color. You know, it's very unfortunate. In so many instances, our society has placed a stigma on the Negro's color. You know there's some Negroes who are ashamed of themselves? Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your biological features. Somehow you must be able to say in your own lives, and really believe it. I'm black, but beautiful. And believe that in your heart. And therefore, you need not be lured into purchasing cosmetics that make you appear lighter. Neither do you need to process your hair to make it appear straight. I have good hair and is as good as anybody else's in the world. And we've got to believe that. Now, in your life's blueprint, be sure to include the principle of somebodyness. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have as the basic principle the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavors. You're going to be deciding, as the days and years unfold, what you want to do in your life, what your life's work will be. And when you decide this, set out to do it as if God Almighty called upon you at this particular moment in history to do it. And don't just do a good Negro job, but do a good job that anybody could do. Set out to do a good job and do that job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn couldn't do it any better. If it falls to your lot to be a street sweeper, then sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Leighton Price sang before the Metropolitan Opera, and sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of the heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, just be a star. For it isn't by size that we win or we fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Don't allow anybody to pull you so low as to make you hate them. Don't allow anybody to cause you to lose your self-respect to the point that you do not struggle for justice. However young you are, you have a responsibility to seek to make your nation a better nation in which to live. You have a responsibility to seek to make a better life for everybody. And so you must be involved in the struggle for freedom and justice. You've heard the word nonviolent, and you've heard the word violent. I happen to believe in nonviolence. But I believe as we struggle with these issues, we've got to struggle with them in a method that is militant, but at the same time does not destroy life or property. And so, our slogan must not be burn, baby, burn. It must be build, baby, build. Organize, baby, organize. Yes, our slogan must be learn, baby, learn, so that we can earn, baby, earn. And with a powerful commitment, I believe that we can transform dark yesterdays of injustice into bright tomorrows of justice and humanity. Let us keep going toward the goal of selfhood, toward the dream of the realization of brotherhood, and toward the dream of the realization of understanding and goodwill. Let nobody stop us. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Thank you.
Great job, Nuri. Thank you. Now we have Rihan Mahajan.
Good evening, everyone. Today I, Bihan Mahajan, from Academy 1 Middle School, in 6th grade, will be presenting a speech by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., The Drum Major Instinct. There is a deep down within all of us an instinct. It's kind of a drum major instinct. A desire to be out front. A desire to lead the parade. And a desire to be first. And it's something that runs a whole gamut of life. We all want to be important, to surpass others, to achieve distinction, and to lead the parade. This quest for recognition, this desire for attention, desire for distinction, is the basic impulse, the basic drive of human life, this drum major instinct. And you know, we begin early to ask life to put us first. Our first cry as a baby was a bid for attention. Children ask life to grant them first place. They are a little bundle of ego. Now, adult life, we still have it, and we really never get by it. We like to do something good, and you know, we like to be praised for it. And if you don't believe that, go on living life, and you will discover very soon that you like to be praised. Everybody likes it, as a matter of fact. And somehow this warm glow we feel when we are praised or when our name is in print is something of the vitamin A to our ego. Do you know that a lot of the race problem grows out of the drum major instinct? A need that some people have to feel superior. A need that some people have to feel that they are first and that their white skin ordained them to be first. And they have said it over and over again in ways that we see with our own eyes. And not only does it go into a racial struggle, it goes into a struggle between nations. And I would submit to you this morning that what is wrong in the world is that the nations of the world are engaged in a bitter, colossal contest for supremacy. I must be first. I must be supreme. Our nation must rule the world. This perverted use of the drum major instinct has led to the most tragic prejudice, the most tragic expressions of man's inhumanity to man. And if something doesn't happen to stop this trend, I am sorely afraid that we won't be here to talk about Jesus Christ and about God and about brotherhood. And if someone doesn't put an end to the suicidal thrust that we see in the world today, none of us are going to be around. And I'm sad to say that the nation in which we live is the supreme culprit. And I'm going to continue to say to America, because I love this country too much to see the drift it has taken. And we will stop because of our pride and arrogance as a nation. But God has a way of even putting nations in their place. And the God that I worship happened to America. Every now and then, I guess, we all think realistically about that day when we will be victimized with what's life's final common denominator, something that we call death. Every now and then, I think about my own death, and I think about my own funeral. And if you're around, I have to meet my day. I don't want a long funeral. And if you get somebody to deliver the eulogy, tell them not to talk too long. Every now and then I wonder what I want to say. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That's not important. Tell them not to mention that I have 300 or 400 awards. That's not important. But I'd like if somebody mentions that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd love if you say that day that I did try to love somebody. I'd love if you say that day that I did try to feed the hungry. I'd love if you say that day that I did try to love and serve humanity. And yes, if you want to call me the drum major, call me the drum major for justice. Call me the drum major for peace. I am the drum major for righteousness. And yes, Jesus, I want to be on your right side or your left side, but not for any selfish reason. I want to be on your right side or your best side, but not for any political kingdom or ambition. But I just want to be there in love, justice, and truth. Thank you.
We have our elected official, Councilman Yosef Saleh. He's been an amazing judge for this competition. I don't know if you want to say some comments.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today? Come on, get some more enthusiasm in this room. How are we all doing today? This is one of my favorite events all year. And it's because I get to see the future. We're here celebrating Black History Month, and one of the most iconic, most important figures in our time that lived in American history, Martin Luther King. And it seems like so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago that he lived. And I get to see the students. They bring his words to life. And I really feel that they're understanding what he was trying to tell people, that we're looking for justice, that my skin color shouldn't matter. It should be the content of my character. And even about his anti-war, right? His anti-war stance against Vietnam, like we forget about that. When Martin Luther King died, you know, he was actually one of the most despised figures in American politique. They took a poll before he passed away. And, you know, a lot of the positions he took were very, very unpopular. And it really rubbed people the wrong way because America had to look itself in the mirror and ask itself, are we really living up to the words in the US Constitution? And the truth of the matter is, we weren't, you know, and we have to have that obligation. Every generation has to take it upon ourselves to make sure that we live up to that creed, that all men and women are created equal, that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so when I see the kids here, and they're reciting these words, and you could tell that they mean what they say, that they read it, they digested it, and it's now in their DNA. Whether you win or don't win, you are all winners. And I know that that's cliche to say, but in this case, when you're talking about understanding American history and our road to justice and how we got to where we are today, and not to forget the struggles of those that came before us. We're winners for that. And that's what Jersey City stands for. And we have to continue this. Even if I saw some kids that, might not have made it through the entire speech. You know what? They're still winners in my book, because they had the courage to come up and say the speech in front of everybody. I even have my interns here. They're in the back. I had them. Yep. So even if they're a little older, they still can learn. We can all learn from each other, right? And they're going to do public speaking too, soon. I had them write a speech, and I said, tell me why I should care about something. And I brought them here, because I'm like, imagine Martin Luther King trying to make people care about civil rights, about economic justice, racial justice. How hard that must have been to go around to people and try to convince them. They got attacked. They were public enemy number one, but there are people that started to side with him. And more people saw what was happening. They knew it wasn't right. So we have to make sure we continue to live by these words and these credos that Martin Luther King gave us, gifted us. And with that, I want to thank all the parents for supporting their kids. I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the judges here. I want to thank Stan the Man, the cameraman. I want to thank Cultural Affairs, Migdalia, Director Goodman, all the people that make this possible, because it is an important part of Jersey City. And Martin Luther King, he did come to Jersey City, in one of his last stops before he was assassinated. He did come, and he did say a brilliant speech at St. Peter's University. I believe my history is right, but you can double check for me later. But he is a part of Jersey City history as well, so that's why it's important. And thank you very much. Everyone's a winner, and enjoy the cake and the trophies and everything. Thank you.
We have our councilwoman from Ward B, Councilwoman Mira Prinzeri here. And if you'd like to say some comments, she also has been a judge several times throughout her tenure. And actually, I'm going to leave the mic to you so that you can make the rest of the introduction, so I can excuse myself and take the trophies down and get it all ready.
Got it.
Okay,
thank you. Yes. Well, hello, everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing? Are you excited? The councilman is known as a hyphen for the council for a reason, but so thank you for getting us warmed up, Councilman Saleh. So it has been my honor and privilege to judge this competition over the 8 years that I've been on City Council. It's also been fantastic to see some of our young people here. I've watched you grow. I've watched you mature as speakers. I've seen some of you and your siblings also start to compete, and this is really a fantastic opportunity to not only share the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King, but also to let you guys grow and experience what it's like to be a public speaker, right? And it is incredibly challenging. It takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of work. And the work that you guys put in now is going to pay off in ways you will not anticipate or expect in the future. So please give yourselves a round of applause, give your parents a round of applause, give your siblings a round of applause, give your teachers and your coaches a round of applause, because this is not easy to do. And something that Councilman said sort of struck me. It's like, we watch you mature, we watch you grow, but in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, as you take your steps, as you are on this journey, we might not always be with you there the whole time, but every step you take is another opportunity to grow. Every step that you take is another opportunity to share your skills that you've learned with people that are coming up behind you, because that's also something that is vitally important and powerful. So we are so glad to have you guys here again at City Hall to share these wonderful words. The speech that the councilman was talking about, Dr. Martin Luther King was in Jersey City shortly before he was assassinated. And that speech happened at the Metropolitan AM Zion Church on Bergen Avenue. It is a piece of our history, so please read about it if you do not know about it. Also know that that church still sermons and is still in existence today. If you have an opportunity, stop by, maybe be part of that fellowship as well, so you can experience that as well. So again, congratulations to all of you. You guys have done an amazing job. I know that there's, not everybody gets an opportunity for the top spot, but if you keep working and you keep striving toward that, you will all get there. So congratulations again. And now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our Senator, Angela McKnight.
Thank you. Hello everyone, how are you? Good. All right, it seems like I'm the last one. I'm between the food that's outside the cake and the awards. So council members, Mira, as well as Yusuf has said a lot. I just want to add just a little bit. To everyone, all the scholars who were part of this event, can you stand up? Now this is for the scholars only. I want you to clap for yourself. Let me tell you, I know you probably feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous. Let me tell you this. If you cannot cheer for yourself, don't expect anyone to cheer for you. You made it here. There are so many scholars who are not here. You are here because of your talent, because of your tenacity, because of your leadership. So each and every time that you do something, be proud of yourself and thank yourself. Look in the mirror, pull out your cell phone, because I know you have a cell phone, put it on selfie, and thank yourself for what you have done. I want to say congratulations to all of you, because you are amazing. You are what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was about. You stand up. You're standing up, you stood up, and you made it here tonight. So keep going, keep striving, keep pushing, and know that you all are amazing. You are amazing. You are resilient. You are brave. There's so many other scholars who are not here, but you are. So I want to say again, congratulations. Keep thriving, keep striving, and keep, most importantly, being you. Thank you.
And now, saving the best for last, I'd like to bring up our Council President, Joyce Waterman. Come on up.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you excited? You know, this is one of the best programs that the city does host, when we get an opportunity to see how children do. You know, it's not easy to stand before people. It's really not. You know, statistics says, you know, you can basically get a heart attack with your adrenaline running like that. But you children have put us to shame. Every year that I come, I see the fantastic job that you guys do. I'm just honored to be here. You inspire me. Every time I hear Martin Luther King's speech, I'm inspired to let us know that there's still more work to be done and that everybody have a right to be at the table. We must allow freedom to ring. Let it ring in New Jersey. Let it ring in the White House. Let it ring for wherever you come from. Let freedom ring, because that's what it's really all about. Congratulations to everyone that participated. But I know only a few can win, but don't give up, because next year can be your year. That's what it's really all about. God bless you.
It's great to have members of public safety with us here today. So, Director, why don't you say a few words?
Listen, I'm going to say how I said it in the back because I didn't get to see it. I was locked out, right? And the way my job is set up, I don't even know when I'm coming or going. But from what I heard out there, and to all of you guys that spoke, the one thing that I will say, I'm 53 years old and I'm public, I'm the police director. And that public speaking thing, you still can't get it. So whether you won or you came a runner-up, you already won because you stood up here. Because that is a task all by itself, right? I do public speaking and I do it. Now I done spoke to the young man right there. I'm not sure if you guys met. What is his first name? Ethan. Ethan said he wanted to be the mayor. Ethan said he takes public speaking, and I want to know how Ethan can help me, right? But I don't want to hold you guys because I think I'm excited. Pio and Anton, thank you, because we throw you under the bus every chance we get. Something needs to be done to Pio. Send Pio and Anton. But I just want to tell you guys are so encouraging, right? And I love the way they ask for you guys all to stand. And then before the night is out, I just want every person, whether you want or not, just to get a photo of you to know this is where you're at now, but you are the future of where we're going, right? And so if y'all good at it now, could you imagine what you'll be in a couple of years? So be blessed, guys, and I'm excited that I was able to make it because I just learned that they've been doing this over 30 years. 30 years. 30 years. And I finally made it at 5:30. But I'm here. Be blessed.
Are we excited, everyone? So grades 3 to 5 category, honorable mentions. First we have Nisa Kandelwal. Give it up for her.
Our next honorable mention in the grade 3 to 5 category is Samira Malhotra.
Congratulations.
Our final honorable mention in the grade 3 to 5 category is Madhushri Ganesh.
Okay, beautiful.
Now we have, for the grades 3 to 5 category, the first 3 winners. Third place, we have... Okay, third place, we have Stella Benito.
In second place, for the grade 3 to 5 category, we have Ethan Rodriguez.
Martina Passarar.
So it's a trophy.
Congratulations to all the winners in grades 3 to 5 category. Now we have grades 6 to 8. Our honorable mentions are Pavit Takar,
and we also have Leisha Guzman.
We also have Victor Amokra Jr.
Congratulations.
Now we have the top 3 winners. Third place goes to Vihan Mahajan.
In second place in the grade 6 to 8 category, we have Gabriela Calles.
Beautiful.
And our first place winner is Nirvi Shah.
We invite all the winners up for a group picture, please.
It shows that I worked hard and I'm happy because I had to memorize it in a short period of time. So I'm happy that I made it to first place.
This experience was really amazing, from all the hard work, learning more about Martin Luther King Jr. Before this, I always knew him as a really influential figure who shaped America's history as a whole, but with this competition, I was able to learn more about him in general and also explore my public speaking skills, and then also learn about issues that still affect us today. Even though we might think that he was a person of the past and he talked about events that occurred in the past, he actually talked about things that still happen today, and that's really important.